Okay, thought I would make something a little on AI spawning, because it's something that I haven't really touched too much on is AI. But first, this. So going through, and I think this is actually a lot better than most that I've seen, where it's like kicking around 50%. Mine's at 60%, but still there's, hit the subscribe button. But that's all. I'll bring that with that. Anywho, so I'm gonna make a quick little terrain. Turn on some light because I don't like the dark. And I made some, well, I didn't make these, I just dragged them in and changed the names. The names just make things easier. But I'm going to create essentially terrain layers. So that's that one. And I'll create another one. We'll call it mud. That one. And one more. We will create sand. And then I'll very quickly just, I don't know, play with a bit of that's probably really excessively large. If you ever wonder why it's like if you click and it's doing that, it says if you change your pixel error, that'll come down a fair bit. Just want to give a little character to this terrain, nothing major, not for this tutorial, but a little. So it's not just a flat, ugly thing, because that's stupid. I don't like it. And if you ever use the terrain tools, I don't know if you've ever seen those, maybe I'll bring those in. If you're really into the terrain stuff, there's some pretty neat stuff. And what am I doing here? Actually, you know, I should probably, you know what would be a little smarter? Let's go like that. And then raise and lower. And I'll show you why. Kind of build some little mountains here or something. And if you kind of get some more peaks happening, I'll show you the terrain tools, even though this isn't a terrain tutorial. But hey, it's cool anyways. Right, and if you want to get some screwed up stuff in here, you know, whatever, it's all good. But anyways, if you lower, right, bring this down a bit. I'll go back to this and hold down Control, or perhaps it was Shift, whatever. And you get the reverse, right? It goes negative. I'd be hoping you guys all know that by now. So I'll just do a little bit of painting here. Really nothing major. It's just more or less when we spawn AI, we want them to spawn in a kind of a cooler manner, and we want to be able to control areas. And it's relatively simple, right? It ain't gonna be nothing crazy, and it'll probably be like I've made a spawner. Actually, I really got it updated. It's on the asset store. Called Open World Spawner, and it was actually one of the first things I actually ever coded. So I mean, it's kind of, to me, it's old. It's like an old style coding. but still, whatever. Let's take that up to 10. Right, this could be like paths. And we just kind of paint these in. I should bring that up a fair bit more. Right. Oops. I'm just going to smooth that out a bit. Set height. Bring that back down. And if you're doing the set height, if you control or shift click, I should say, you can sample the height. Right, and you can, and if you look here, we have, if you're ever curious about this, again, I'll show you this. Right, we have resolutions, the height map resolution. Like if I crank that up, and we'll bring up the texture resolution. We go back over to painting. You'll see now, where are we? It's a much higher resolution. So if you're ever curious about that, now obviously there's a cost and performance for that, so yeah, careful. But anyways, like I said, the whole thing isn't just here for me to paint a bunch of texture for you and train. I'm just playing, I guess. But while I'm at it, I will show you a cool tool in my rhyming skills. Is in these guys. This always takes forever to load this little thing. So terrain tools. And this adds a lot of really neat functionality with the tools, other than just raise and lower height. I'll let that import. And there it should go any second. Eating up my recording time. Lovely. Stupid thing, hurry up. Someone's probably falling asleep right now. Okay, there it goes. Alright. Oh, now it's got to do the shaders. Alright, I think one of the other things I'll do is I'll blast a few trees on here as well. I don't know about defining maybe an area. Well, we'll see. We'll see. So anyways, it updated everything. So, okay. See how these crappy mountains look? How crappy they look. So there's new tools here now that I've added that in. Mesh stamping and stuff. The effects. Right, sharpen peaks. Right, you can do some kind of neat stuff with that. But these things here, I love the hydraulic. Oh man, I got that cranked right up. I really got to bring that down. Brush strength, let's go. Right, and it really just adds a nice procedural hydraulic erosion to it. Gives your mountains a nice little bit of flavor. Really blends them in. But like I said, there's a lot of tools here. If you've never played with these things, they're super cool. Thermal. Oh my god, that was horrible. Thermal. Oh, thermal's not giving me a nice effect right now. It almost seems like it's smoothing. See, I think I would probably sharpen these peaks though. These are annoying me. God, I almost want to crank that up. Oh, it is cranked. Get that nice and sharp peak. Then use the hydraulic. Yeah, then you kind of get this. And obviously you want to play with some levels and stuff, so forth, but whatever. Sculpting, bridges, you can do bridges and stuff. There's a lot of neat things you can do. I don't think I have a brush set here. But whatever. Not really worried about this stuff. It also alters all of these. Like you have jitters and stuff and rotations. But anywho, enough of that crap. Well, okay, I gotta add a few trees because it just looks so bare. Tree. Let's add a cool tree. That's a cool tree. We'll use that one. And take this right down. Let's test. That's not very good, but hey, it'll work. And of course, I probably have that. Oh, you know what? I have billboarding on. These trees don't have billboards. But yeah, I'm just gonna, give a little bit of spice to that. Nothing major. And really, if you're ever doing this type of stuff, man, mix and match. It makes things look so much nicer. Oh, I should have used these trees. That would have been a lot better. Oh well. But like, I don't know, here's just a generic tree. And we bring the density like way down. No, density's too low now. If you mix and match colors, it really just makes things work so much better. doing a little bit of deleting as I go and placing at the same time. Adds that variation. All right, so there we have just some basic crap. Sure, let's add a grass, why not? Probably a fair bit of grass around where you'd see water. And then of course, you know, you want some water. You know, you probably have a water asset that'll probably look a million times better than this. And I don't know, let's give it some material. Ain't gonna be nothing special. Obviously some sort of bluish. Okay, so there's a crappy little world. So, bacon nav mesh to it. And I don't know if I have any animals in here. Oh, I do have malbears in here. Oh, I have an elephant. That'll work. All right, so I'm not going to create the AI yet, and that's messed up. Oh, he's missing his avatar. All right, I'm not going to bother fixing that right now. I mean, it would be an easy fix. Well, whatever.
Evidence.
This guy. He will be our, for now, our little AI. So, I am going to prefab him just as is. So I'm not going to give him any logic right now. Future I will though. So, what? I don't have any procedural skyboxes made. How is that even possible? There we go. If you've never made a skybox, they're super easy. It's probably good just like that. The nice thing about the procedural ones, so that sun moves with it, right? Perfect. Perfect. Just like that. Nice and pretty. So, there are a few tricks to this. One of them is, let's take a really quick look at, I'll show you this with a cube so we have a nice visual. See this nice little cube here doing absolutely nothing? All right, that's our terrain. And I don't think he runs an update, but we'll check. No, he doesn't run an update. So this little thing will now show us we're over the grass, mud, grass, mud. Doesn't matter about height. Rock, sand. Pretty fancy. Beauty part. Now normally, and we always could modify that, but I'm not that worried about it. Right, so if we have a spawn manager, and I can't spell worth crap. One of the first things you're going to want to do is have an array. Actually, you know what? And it would be better to do a proxy for this. A little more flexible, the arrayless proxy. And I'm going to put this thing into a global. All right. So now, because ideally, what you want, I lied, I am going to put some logic on these. Right, if this thing were to say to die or something happens to it, we don't know what, something happens. We want to array list remove. Right, and we know we have a manager called spawn, and he has a reference called spawned, and it's going to be game object, and we want to remove ourselves. So we're going to have to get owner as well. Right, and we move self. That's it. Right, so if I show you this for a minute, we'll just put a wait. Like 5 seconds to a finish. Let's update that AI. Delete him. All right, so now if I do the same thing here, create our little AI guy. We doesn't need a parent. Position for now, I'll just go whatever. Create a diet, array, list add. Copy, paste, game object, created AI. Right, so so this thing will, and this is a very key part on how this thing runs. So I just hit pause, right? So he was created because the spawn manager created him. The spawn manager put him in here, right? Now, when this guy, he's going to run 5 seconds, and then he's going to remove himself from this list. There he goes, gone, right? So that's very important on maintaining a nice healthy list. And you'll see why very, very quickly. So we get owner, we have ourselves, we're not going to do that. So we have players, and let's say our player is this guy. We'll give him a tag called player. Now you can have your player go into a special player global variable to access it. I'm just going to use a find game object. His name will be player and his tag will be player, and we'll store him as player, a whole bunch of players. So let's change his name to player so it actually finds him. And then, actually, you know what we're going to do prior to that to make this thing work very well is null if player is null, is not null. And this will help if you ever make a game that your player gets deleted or you destroy him. Oh, whoops, yeah, is null, then find him, right? So do we have a player? And if we do have a player that's not null, go over here. You might as well just loop until he finds a player. So that's a bit of a protection for the system. So what do we want to do? Let's do population limit. Let's stick that out there and call it, oh, god damn it, there we go. We're going to do array list length. So we're going to get the length current population. So however long this thing is our population. Subtract 1. This is a special little thing. Arrays and lists are technically different things, and they use a different logic. And because of the index of 0 being an index, right? Like if you look at an array, if I give it a size 5, there's 5 objects in this. But there's an index 0, right? So it only goes to 4, but there's 5 objects. So there's I don't know, there's different things in coding. So turn that on and don't worry about it. Anywho, so we're gonna get the length. We want to int compare. So is our current population less than our population limit? If they're equal, we are maxed. If it's less, spawn. If it's greater, we're maxed. Oh, not a finished. Messed that one up. Spawn and maxed. You know, if we're maxed, let's just do a wait. I don't know, 5 seconds. And go right back to, do we have a player? Spawning, though, is that you would have different arrays. Now, you could bring in night and day, for example. And so he is day. Let's put that there. Oh, and right in the start, get owner. Day manager. So the spawn manager can now get an FSM bool from day manager. An FSM called time is day. Oh, not an FSM bool test, just a bool test. Put that below or it'll screw up. So we have is day, is night. And just because of that, let's create another little AI guy. Where's our little dungeon? No, let's do a person. Okay. All right. So if you have a list and array day list game object and array night list, and that's a game object. I'll stick that here, stick that there, and it's okay. So if it's day, so you know what, before we do that, we should probably find a position first. Let's do a random float. Actually, you know what? Okay, so you know how I showed you with the cube, the cube's got to be over? Because normally in code you can say, hey, what's under this position? What's under this position? So that one's based off of wherever some object is. So we're going to move an object. Right? So this little spawner guy, I'm going to stick him as a reference, and we're going to get position of player we're going to set position of our spawner to player position in the world space, and then we're going to random rotation just on the Y of spawner. Then I'm going to get the forward direction of the spawner and we want to multiply that by a distance. So if your player's here, you don't want something spawning here. Like you want a range. So we'll say 50. That might be a little far. 35. Right? Now, vector 3 add player position and our spawner forward. Put that after the multiplier, and then set, or no, wait, let's nav mesh sample. And it's now going to be player position and give it a distance of 10, and the position found will be the found position on the nav mesh. Now we're going to make that finish, and I'm going to use that event just to make sure this happens. Now set position of the spawner again to the to the found position world. Get texture. Supposed to be the terrain texture. Train this guy from spawner. We get a texture. And now, actually, now we can go here. Now we have a texture. Now we know if it's day or night, right? So here, okay, you know what? We almost need to change these lists. We have day list. Let's say day grass list, and night grass list. And then we would probably need a whole bunch more. Array, day, rock list. Oh, not string, that's a game object. Array, night, rock list. Days sand list. And array night sand list. We also need a mud, but I'm not going to worry about that one right now. Right? Okay, so now we're going to switch. String switch. So the texture, we have 4, we have rock, mud, grass, sand. Same names as those, right? Rock, sand, mud, grass. So we have 4 different textures, and you can have as many as you want with this. Really, it doesn't matter, right? And we know it's day. Actually, you know what? We should probably stick this here. Let's put it in this order. Actually, no. Let's do this. Okay. So we have bool test, day and night. How do we want to do this? All right. Yes. Okay. So we do want it on this side. But I am going to put one thing here on this side. There's no point in grabbing this frickin' for everything. Grab the bool on that side. Over here, we'll just do the testing. So if it's rock, we're going to go here. If it's day, and if it's night. Right? So array get random. Granted, we don't have anything in it right now, so we want the day rock list. Store value as spawn this. Go to our spawning phase, right? And same thing here, only now it's night rock list. Right, so now you can literally just copy and paste this whole thing and do sand, paste it again, do mud, paste it again, and do grass. Right? These all load into the same spot, just one big switch. Now obviously the difference here is here we're in sand, so sand list. Night sand list. Mud, I didn't do the mud, so I'm going to leave it at the rock. Grass. Day grass list, night grass list. So then we have this. So create object. Spawn this at bound position. Because that's what we're getting here. Created a array add, array list add, right, and now we just cycle back. Bloop. Right, and you might want to put a wait in, obviously. You don't need this thing flying at every possible frame. You know, like maybe, I'll put it for 2 seconds for now. Go right back to, do we have a player? Right, so let's just fill some of these in. I'm only going to put one in here. So we'll do grass and undead, night grass. Okay, for now let's do all these guys. We'll test the difference in a minute. So our players here. So here we have. See how they're not spawning right close to that player? And if I move over here, you're gonna see, right, they're gonna start spawning around there. And if I go to this guy and say go night, now we're spawning the AI, the undead ones. Alright, so that's working pretty good. Now, with that said, let's test something here. Let's do let's make a few more. Alright, so this can be rock day, rock night, sand day, sand night. All right. All right, so now we have rock day, rock night, sand day, and sand night. All right, I am now also going to speed this up from 5 seconds to 0.5 seconds. And there is one more thing I want to do, is add another FSM called Cycle Manager. So what this guy is going to do is he's going to literally take this same bit of logic this is the return side. So not null. So now it's not null. So now what we want to do is array list get next from spawned loop done type of game objects current. So what we want to do is here's the loop, and there's done. When we're done, we're literally just going down over here. But during the loop, what do we want to do? We want to get distance current and player. Distance between the player and the current. Distance I don't know why I made such a massive variable name. To, let's say, 50. So if it is greater less keep. And if we're going to destroy the AI, we are array list remove, oh, and destroy. Guess we need them both. Do the remove first. So we want spawned type game object variable current, and then destroy current, and then go back here. All right, there we go. Oh, I thought I sped that up. Maybe I didn't speed it up. All right, so we have all these people showing up, right? And if I highlight them all, you'll see them all going right in a circle around my player. We don't exactly want that, but we'll fix that up. But if I start moving my player, see how they're unspawning around here and they're spawning around here now? And we're only going to get 50 of them. That's maximum. Right? And as you see, they are leaving the area and they're spawning around the area. And they're using the sand because we're near the sand. If I go over here, we're starting to see the rock guys. And if I go that, we are now seeing the undead. You know, there's Sand Knight, Rock Knight. Okay, so that's all working pretty good. The only thing we need is this thing. We have in our big super crazy long thing here, this guy. Spawn distance. Let's give that a random float. So let's go, I don't know, 30 to 40. That's spawn distance. And now, right, so now, as you can see, they're spawning kind of in a much little more right, let's make that a little wider. And then let's take this guy and open that one up. See, now they're spawning in a much more random path, but they're not getting, this one's only close because he was moving, as I was moving the player, but I mean they're not spawning close to the player. Right, so yeah, we have a nice little, and I can move, and we have this thing following us, maintaining our cap, our population cap. Pretty cool. There's an open world spawning system right there. All right. And of course this thing has the day and night cycle. There we go, perfect. So I think that pretty much covers the spawner, and we'll get into, I'll extend this video, because I'll use this, like I might extend the spawner a little more, a little bit, because you can run events and stuff into this thing as well. But I mean, it's not a big deal. It's working pretty good. But like I said, I might run events into it. But the other thing, yeah. So I think next we'll just focus more on the actual AI. Right, we'll start seeing these AI doing wander scripts, sight and attacking. I can put in a little bit of a need system, maybe go and get the water or something. And I'll also show a few different styles of the AI, I think. Like I'll show you one way that is extremely performant friendly, like to the point where you won't find higher performance AI like on anywhere on the asset store from any of those assets for AI compared to what you can do with PlayMaker. Well, I mean, you can do a script, it's the same thing, but it's relatively more simpler AI, but still yet really effective and good, like great for zombie AI and stuff. But you could run like hundreds and hundreds of them without causing performance at all. But anyways, that's probably good. And don't forget, oh, I deleted it. Don't forget that, the subs. If you're watching, sub. Just do it. If you're watching, just do it. Hit that sub, right? Not sub, 40%. Let's get it. I said, I think we're doing really good. Obviously, these people here rock. These people here are okay, but these people here rock. Hit that sub button. Anyways, we'll talk to you in the next video.